Hi, my name's James Jones. I'm with Golden Years Senior Living Advisors, and I help seniors and their families with a complimentary service to find retirement communities that fit for them, whether it's assisted living, independent living, memory care, or board and care. I help them find those communities here in San Diego. Today I have a really special guest, Nadia Rizvi with the RBI Institute. And from the moment I met Nadia, I thought, this is somebody very special. She has something very unique to share, not just with seniors, but really anyone who either they themselves or if they have a family member who may have dementia. This one really resonates close to home for me because when I was in high school, my grandfather, Papa, had Alzheimer's disease, and we took care of him for as long as we could in our home. However, at some point, we couldn't, is what they call an eloper, which means he knew how to open the front door and he would wander around the neighborhood. We lived near a freeway and we were worried for his safety and we didn't want something bad to happen to him. So eventually, we did have to move him into a memory care community. And that was really hard for the family because he was just a patriarch of the family. He was a boxer. Everyone loved him. He was funny, just all around great guy. But he owned dry cleaners. And we suspect, Nadia will tell us more as we continue with this podcast, that perhaps the chemicals within the laundromats that he owned and ran may have affected his cognitive health. But without further ado, I want to introduce you to Nadia Rizvi with RBI Institute here in San Diego. And I really believe that she's found the fountain of youth. But let's let her tell us more about that. So again, what we're going to be talking about are dementia and how that can affect a family, and is there a cure for it? And she actually may have something that may cure and reverse dementia. So I'm sure you want to hear about that. Without further ado, Nadia.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Pleasure to have you here. Want to focus in on a couple of things with regards to dementia, talking about brain health. You have a protocol that can improve brain functioning, allow adults, senior adults, or any adult, anyone really, to be more active, focused, and energetic in their life. Can you talk to us about that and the importance of these three things?
Yeah. So we founded Rizvi Brain Institute in 2022, and we primarily founded it so that we can help reverse cognitive decline, such as dementia, and help people stay active, focused, and energetic. And we noticed that people that have some kind of memory loss or cognitive decline, that they tend to isolate themselves because they feel very shameful about not being able to remember conversations, people's names, and also family members' names and their relationships. So because they don't have that memory, they end up isolating themselves and they become depressed at home. So we found that by addressing this cause with family members and with patients, we can help reverse that so they don't have to go through that kind of life.
Wow, so important.
Yeah.
So important. Want to talk about stats a little bit. Nadia was sharing this with me earlier before we began this podcast that 50 million people worldwide suffer from dementia. It's the 7th leading cause for death. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Wow, that's a very big number.
Yeah, and about 70% of caregivers end up becoming or the family members, about 70% of them, mostly women, end up becoming caregivers, which really stunts the growth for their personal life and affects the family dynamics. And also financially, it affects them about $400,000 per person they end up spending $400,000 per person that has dementia And I mean, that can be very, very demanding for a family member or the patient themselves, you know.
Absolutely. And that's a very big number.
Yeah.
So if there's a way to reverse dementia, we need to know. The world needs to know.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about how you got into this industry and why you're so passionate about it. I understand you come from a family of doctors. Yourself, you're a medical doctor.
That's right. Yeah.
Your two brothers and your mom, right?
My brother, yes, Dr. Adam, and myself, and then my mom, Dr. Monique. So all of us, we all started in 2022 in terms of Risby Brain Institute, but we've been in combination practicing for the last 50 years, including my mom's history. We love medicine. We love how it's helped people, but we really dove into brain health specifically after our father passed away in 2019. We noticed that our mother started to have some memory loss issues. She started to forget small conversations, and she started to become overwhelmed and anxious whenever she had one small activity to do, and driving on the road was very difficult for her. Finding words were very difficult for her. And so all of that in combination got us a little worried. It got her worried too, because actually her mother had dementia and had to go to a nursing home, unfortunately, similar to your grandfather. And so that was really traumatic for her family members. And of course, we didn't want to see her go through that. So we started to look into alternative modalities for reversing Alzheimer's, more of a holistic approach. And we stumbled upon Dr. Bredesen's protocol. And so he wrote a book called The End of Alzheimer's. And in that, he talks about the clinical studies that he's done showing the different factors that could be contributing to dementia. And there's no one simple solution. There are multiple factors, but we took our mother through the whole protocol, Dr. Bredesen's protocol, where it's a combination of lifestyle, supplements, figuring out if there's any deficits in vitamins, hormones, all that. We took her through the whole protocol. We found out that she had really low estrogen levels, and she had really high mold toxicity levels. So we had to do a mold detox program and help her supplement her estrogen, progesterone. And we found that as she was going through the protocol, through diet, lifestyle change, supplements, and then the detox for mold toxicity, that her memory started to recover. She started to understand where she was. She could drive on the road again, the highway. She remembered conversations, people's names. Also, like the other day, we were driving, and not the other day, but a couple of years ago, and we were driving, and I didn't think that she knew where we were, but she was like, "Hey, you just missed an exit here." For me, that was really shocking, because I was used to her at that point in time, not really knowing where she was in relation to where our house was, but that really showed me, like, okay, she's getting better. And it took about 6 months for her to go through the whole protocol, and we saw dramatic change. So afterwards, we said, okay, this is something we're all passionate about. My father's dream was also to have a family clinic, and this is something that we all agreed on, and we said, let's do this for other people too, to show them that there's hope if someone has memory loss. It's not a death sentence. There is a way to reverse it if we can catch it early.
And so your mom was able to completely reverse the dementia that she had.
That's correct. So now she's our provider, our main provider in our clinic. Yeah.
Wow, that must have had such an amazing effect on your family and the vitality of her life and your life, knowing that you have your mom back.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, she's very vibrant. She's very active. She enjoys gardening. She enjoys helping and treating patients. And not everybody in that age group can say that they're that active and their cognitive function is that on point. And I feel by her taking care of her health in this way, it's just showing, it's setting a precedent for other people in her age group that age is not a reason why someone has memory loss, and other people can become healthy. Active, focused, and energetic is what we strive for, and we can help people get there.
Wow. It sounds like you have found the fountain of youth. I'm excited to hear more.
Yeah.
Definitely want to talk about the protocol that you use in order to help reverse dementia and the therapies you offer in your clinic.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, tell us a little bit more about the 4 causes of dementia. I know you mentioned it. Inflammation is one, environmental toxins, tropic, and energetic, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
tell us about these causes that cause the dementia in the first place.
Yes, exactly. So the overarching umbrella is inflammation. So anything really in your body that can cause severe inflammation. I start off with gut health, how's your microbiome and your gut health? And then we go into toxins. Or have you been exposed, like your grandfather probably was exposed to dry cleaners, the chemicals. Environmental toxins is big, it can also include mold toxicity, and that can be through not cleaning the vents properly, or if there's a leakage somewhere and, for example, there's a leakage underneath your rug from plumbing issues or even from the pipes in your wall and it caused mold on your wall. If you don't fix that and actually get the mold out of your wall or out of your carpet, then that could slowly leak into the atmosphere and you could have mold toxicity. So yeah, environmental toxins we got, and then we also have trophic factors, which is mainly like, let's say, hormones and vitamins, like vitamin D being low, or hormone levels like estrogen, testosterone being low. All of that can cause memory loss. And then, of course, energetics, which is oxygen and blood circulation. So we help people identify those different factors that are contributing to their memory loss, because sometimes it's not just one thing. They could have low estrogen, progesterone like my mother and mold toxicity, or they could have a diet high in sugar and simple carbs and have environmental toxicities like dry cleaner chemicals that your grandfather was exposed to. So it could be a multitude of things. The main thing is approaching it systemically, looking at the person as a whole person. What's their daily activities like? What do they enjoy doing in the day? What's their routine? And through conversation, we start to identify what the potential factors could be. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And what are some of the other ways that you can help them identify what the factors contributing to their dementia might be? I think you mentioned that maybe an Oura ring or a wearable, making sure, they're getting the right sleep, these kinds of things. You mentioned fMRI as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, wearables are really good. Any kind of watch that, like an Apple Watch, Samsung Watch that has an oxygen detector where they can detect how much oxygen they're having in their blood circulation, as well as how much sleep they're getting in the nighttime. That's a huge factor, because sometimes people will wake up multiple times in the night and they think that's normal. And they might be doing that earlier on in their life. Like it could be anywhere from prostate issues or just drinking a lot of water at nighttime, they have to get up. But because they get up, it disrupts their cycle. Other things that could disrupt your cycle are not getting enough sleep because you have sleep apnea. So if someone has sleep apnea, then they don't realize it, but they're snoring at nighttime. Their spouse might know that they snore. And what that does, it slowly increases your cortisol level, like micro levels of cortisol. It's like this hormone that tells you have to wake up. So you get small bursts of these cortisol over a long period of time, and that can cause you to have inflammation in your system because you're not getting enough sleep at night.
Wow. And you can help guide them to figure out what these potential factors may be in their life that may be causing it. And you can also help them reverse it. So within your clinic, you have a protocol that you use. And I'm really interested in for you to tell us more about the acoustic vibrational therapy and light therapy that you use in combination with each other to help people get into a meditative brain state. Sounds really interesting. Tell us more about that.
So the two main modalities that we use in our clinic is vibroacoustic therapy and near-infrared light therapy. So both of these therapies allow someone to have 40 hertz either through acoustics or through light penetrate their brain so that their brain starts to go into a gamma brainwave activity. It's like an electrical activity in their brain, just like your heart has electrical activity, your brain has electrical activity, and just the stimulus of an outside source such as the acoustics, like the sound, or the light will cause your brain to start going into gamma, and gamma has been shown to help repair. So it causes neuroplasticity, so it repairs neurons that are damaged. So by by someone using these therapies frequently, I would say at least 3 times a week in the beginning, they can start to see that their brain starts to repair itself. It starts to regenerate itself. And so that's what we recommend as part of our treatment protocol, because we've seen a lot of benefit with it. Yeah.
Wow, excellent. And they can actually come into your clinic and receive these therapies, or they could purchase these therapies if they wanted to do it at home. Obviously, the benefit of being with you is that you are their accountability partner. So
Exactly.
probably a little bit more chance of success coming into the clinic, I would assume, right?
Exactly, exactly. We all have our morning routines that we should do, and we have the diet that we should be eating, but having someone like a coach or even a doctor that can keep you accountable for coming in, if you actually dedicate 3 times a week to coming into the office, then you're more likely to do that. Whereas if you have it at home, which is great, I even have a vibroacoustic mat at home, how often will you actually do it? You might do it a couple times in the beginning, but unless you're super disciplined and you have a discipline ethic, then coming to the clinic is great for accountability. Yeah.
Got it. And these modalities help, as you mentioned, with neuroplasticity, which is how your synapses communicate with each other, how you learn, how you grow. If you have healthy brain functioning and healthy neuroplasticity, then you have a healthy brain, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. And it's important, even before we get into any kind of memory loss in life or brain fog, that we keep our brains healthy. So this is not just for people that have memory loss or are having symptoms of brain fog. It's actually like athletes, people that are high performers. They want to keep their brain in tip-top shape. They want to be able to speak quickly. They want to understand things quicker. They want to run faster. All these reasons to keep their brain in shape, and vibroacoustic therapy and near-infrared light therapy has helped, and has helped athletes with it, has helped high performers with it. So it's not just for those people that have dementia. It's better to keep your brain healthy now. It's like exercising. You don't, exercise once a lot of people exercise once they have a heart attack. But if you can exercise before that, that means your body will stay healthy longer, and you'll have a more fulfilling life because you can play with your grandkids. You can continue doing your community sport activities like soccer or volleyball. Why not do that and have a healthy, fulfilling life? Not to wait till someone has a heart attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody could be proactive, not wait till something happens, like you said, and then receive these therapies. Like you mentioned, even athletes, it'll help them as well with performance.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Can you tell us, obviously your mom's story is a success story, but can you tell us of another client that you have where you've helped them?
Yeah. Well, some of our clients are more in the elderly population, like 65 plus. So we noticed that they had different levels of hormone deficiencies. So we use bioidentical hormones to help them, because some studies have shown giving pure estrogen hasn't really helped. But bioidentical hormones actually really do help with boosting the hormones, and by default boosting your cognitive performance. So we've noticed that by testing hormones and helping people with hormones, this specific client, she was about 65-ish when she started to notice some memory loss and brain fog. So she started doing the protocol. We helped her with bioidentical hormones, and then she started using near-infrared light therapy every single day except Sundays. And after about 3 months for her, she started to notice more vibrancy in her life and cognitive acuity. So everybody's different. Everybody's story is different and what they need, but that specific person had tremendous benefit once we figured out what was the cause of her memory loss. Wow.
Well, yourself and your brothers and your mom, you're really up to something very special. Thank you so much for having this service, this protocol to help people reverse dementia. You mentioned all the way from pre-dementia through mild dementia can be reversed.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing with us everything about the RBI Institute, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.